Everyone knows Brenay Kennard as the unbothered queen of TikTok with nearly 3 million followers. Her brand is built on confidence, aesthetics, and a life that looks perfectly curated. But right now, the only numbers that actually matter are the $3.5 million she was sued for in a North Carolina courtroom. The headline sounds like a clickbait rumor: influencer sued for stealing husband. But the reality is much darker, much more expensive, and involves a legal weapon so old, most people think it doesn't exist anymore. We are looking at a total timeline collapse. On Instagram, you saw a fairy tale romance with her manager, Timothy Montague. In the court filings, you see a nightmare of betrayal, secret text messages, and a specific state law designed to punish homewreckers with 7-figure fines. You clicked because you want to know if she really has to pay up, but you will stay because the details of how she handled this lawsuit are absolutely baffling. Here is the contrarian truth. This wasn't just an affair. This was a legal war where a jilted ex-wife used a 200-year-old statute to put a price tag on heartbreak. While Brenay was posting day-in-the-life vlogs, a jury was deciding if her love life was actually a crime. She didn't just lose a boyfriend, she walked into a legal trap that most people don't even know exists. In this video, we are going to answer 3 specific questions. First, how did Brenay allegedly steal him right under his wife's nose, considering they were reportedly best friends? Second, is it actually legal to sue someone for millions of dollars just for having an affair in 2025? And third, what specific text messages and roommate defenses did Brenay use in court that ultimately caused the jury to hand down a massive financial verdict? The story you have been told on TikTok is that Brenay is the victim of a bitter ex. The story the court documents tell is that Brenay Kennard ignored every warning sign until the gavel finally dropped. We need to start with the betrayal itself, because the context here changes everything. This was an inside job. The rehook here is the proximity of the players. Usually when an influencer gets into a scandalous relationship, there is a degree of separation. But for Brenay Kennard, the launch of her relationship with Timothy Montague seemed to run parallel to the destruction of his marriage to Akira Montague. The details provided in the lawsuit suggest a level of closeness that makes the betrayal sting significantly more. According to the lawsuit filed in Durham County, Brenay wasn't just a random woman, she was a close friend of the family. Reports indicate she was actually married to Timothy's cousin at one point. They all moved in the same circles. They attended family events together. The expectation from fans was that Brenay and Timothy were just a power duo working together. He was her manager, she was the talent. It made sense on the surface, but the evidence presented in court paints a different picture. According to People magazine on November 11, 2025, Akira claimed that while she was still legally married to Timothy, Brenay was flaunting the relationship online. Imagine scrolling through your For You page and seeing your husband in romantic scenarios with your friend while you're still legally married to him. This wasn't hidden in the shadows, it was broadcasted to millions of people. She claimed that this public display caused her severe humiliation and emotional distress. When you look at the timeline, the overlap is undeniable. The transition from manager to boyfriend happened while the marriage license was still very much active. The payout for this section is the filing itself. Akira didn't just go to social media to complain or make a reaction video. She went to the superior court. She filed a lawsuit claiming alienation of affection. She argued that her marriage was happy and loving until Brenay Kennard intentionally destroyed it. While Brenay's fans were defending her in the comment section, the legal system was preparing to hand her a bill that would wipe out years of brand deals. The best friend status didn't protect Brenay. In the eyes of the jury, it likely made the malicious intent easier to prove. Now we need to look at the most shocking part of the trial, the defense strategy. This is where the expectations versus reality gap is the widest. The rehook is the roommate defense. How do you defend yourself when you're accused of stealing a husband? You claim the husband was already available. You claim the marriage was a sham before you ever got involved. In court, Timothy Montague took the stand to defend his new relationship. His defense was simple and brutal. He claimed he was never in love with Akira. He told the jury they were just like roommates and that the marriage had been dead for years. If the marriage was already broken, then legally, Brenay couldn't be blamed for breaking it. It's a solid strategy on paper. If there is no affection to alienate, there is no crime.
But the evidence Akira brought to court destroyed that narrative in seconds. This is where the receipts matter more than the testimony. According to The Independent on November 7, 2025, Akira's team presented text messages and testimony that showed a very different reality. They didn't just argue that they were in love, they proved it with timestamps. They showed proof that Timothy was writing love notes to Akira during the time he claimed they were just like roommates. The most damaging piece of evidence was a specific event. The legal team showed that in August 2023, right when the affair was allegedly heating up and the roommate dynamic was supposedly in full swing, Timothy was planning a surprise birthday party for Akira. You do not plan a detailed surprise birthday party for a roommate you do not love. You do not write love notes to a woman you were just coexisting with. It gets worse. Akira testified that the affair wasn't just emotional. She claimed that intimate acts happened in their marital home. She claimed Brenay posted photos of Akira's own children without consent. The image of the unbothered influencer crumbled under the weight of these specific dates. The jury saw a husband claim both sides, and an influencer who was complicit in the deception. The payout here is the jury's reaction. They simply didn't buy the roommate story. The timeline of the text proved that there was still affection in the marriage. By proving the marriage had life left in it, Akira proved that Brenay was the one who killed it. This specific failure of the defense is what opened the door for the multi-million-dollar liability. Now we need to look at the massive legal question that has everyone confused. How is this even legal in 2025? The rehook is the Hart-Bolam tort. Most people think you can't sue someone for cheating. In 44 states, you can't. If this happened in California or New York, Brenay would be safe. But North Carolina is different. Here is the legal reality you need to understand. North Carolina is one of the few places that still has a law called alienation of affection. It is often called the homewrecker law. This law treats affection almost like property. If someone steals it, you can sue them for the value of what was lost. To win this lawsuit, Akira didn't just have to prove they had sex. That's a different tort called criminal conversation, which was also part of this suit. For alienation of affection, she had to prove 3 very specific things. 1, that she and Timothy had a loving marriage with genuine affection. 2, that the love and affection was destroyed. And 3, that Brenay's malicious acts directly caused that destruction. This is a high bar to clear. Usually, the defense argues that the husband was a willing participant and therefore the third party isn't solely to blame. But this is where Brenay made a critical, perhaps fatal error in her legal strategy. According to WRAL News, Brenay decided to represent herself in court. This is known as appearing pro se. She did not have a high-powered defense team shielding her. It was just Brenay arguing against a seasoned legal team. She tried to argue that Akira consented to the relationship because she knew the marriage was over. Brenay stated in court she gave her consent, she said it was okay because she knew her marriage was over with. But without a lawyer to navigate the complex rules of evidence, this argument fell flat. The law in North Carolina is strict. If the jury believes the third party, Brenay, was the controlling cause of the split, it doesn't matter if the husband was unhappy. It matters who pulled the trigger on the marriage. By representing herself, Brenay likely missed critical opportunities to object to evidence or properly cross-examine witnesses. She brought a social media mindset to a superior court battle. The payout is the final number. The lawsuit asks for $3.5 million. The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours. In the legal world, a 2-hour deliberation is incredibly fast. It means the jury didn't have many doubts. They didn't need days to argue. They saw the text, they saw the lack of a professional defense, and they made their choice. They ordered Brenay Kennard to pay $1.5 million for alienation of affection and an additional $250,000 for criminal conversation. That is a total of $1.75 million. Now we have to look at the aftermath. What happens when the gavel drops and the bill comes due? The rehook is the God defense. Usually when a celebrity loses a massive lawsuit, they go quiet. They issue a polite statement through a publicist and tried to let the news cycle die. Brenay went on the offensive immediately. After the verdict, Brenay released a statement to People magazine that shocked legal experts. She called the verdict outrageous and said, "Akira may have won the battle, but not the war. God will have the final say." This is a dangerous game to play. By publicly slamming the verdict and the plaintiff, she keeps the story in the news cycle. It also signals a lack of remorse, which can be dangerous if there are any appeals or future legal issues. Timothy also released a statement doubling down on his failed defense. He insisted the marriage was not full of genuine love. All parties involved know that. But the court documents tell the final story.
The jury awarded the money because the receipts, the text, the dates, the photos outweighed the narrative. They looked at the timeline and saw a calculated interference. The financial reality for Brenay is now terrifying. While she has millions of followers, liquidating $1.75 million in cash is difficult for almost anyone. This judgment hangs over her head. It can affect her future earnings, her property, and her ability to do business. The payout for you is understanding the risk. If you're an influencer in North Carolina, your DMs aren't just private messages. They are potential evidence in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Brenay Kennard is now legally on the hook for nearly $2 million, proving that while influence is free, consequences are expensive. To summarize, Brenay Kennard tried to fight a 200-year-old law with a modern social media defense, and she lost everything but her account handle. She claimed the marriage was over. The text proved it wasn't. She claimed she was innocent. The jury found her liable for malicious interference. She thought she could represent herself. The jury returned a verdict in under 2 hours. This case proves that in the eyes of the law, relationship content can be used as evidence of malicious interference. The insider takeaway is this: representing yourself in an alienation of affection case is a financial death sentence. The burden of proof is high, but once the jury sees the timeline of betrayal, no amount of TikTok followers can save you. Brenay's confidence, which usually serves her so well online, was her downfall in a room where only facts matter. If you want to understand the exact playbook celebrities use to spin these legal disasters into sympathy, you need to watch the Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist right now. We break down the PR moves they make before the court date even gets set. Click here to see who is lying to you next.